the 13th Parliament. I can see one interest. Senator Chariot.
Mr. Speaker, I just have one quick comment, and it's a matter of procedure. Not really procedure as in the motion is wrongly before the House, but in terms of the neatness of the exercise that you're undertaking. Whether, and the thing that bogs my mind is this really the right time to consider changes to the standing order? We've been here for the 5 years that we've been here. We've learned there are things that we've agreed with and those that we felt that maybe we could have done them better. I thought ideally, Mr. Speaker, and this is part of the things that we need to consider, is that this committee will go ahead and produce a report for us, but then leave it to the wisdom of the next House to come and debate it extensively. You can see the rush in which we want to conclude this business. Yet this is a very important exercise, Mr. Speaker. This goes into the heart of our operations as a House next term for those that are seeking the people's mandate to come and represent them here. So, and it's good because the table office is here, led by a very able clerk. Perhaps in the next time's consideration, whether we will to perhaps guide the House on whether this is the appropriate time to consider changes to committees, how they operate, the rules and procedures of the House, where there is very little interest. Perhaps more than half of this House have considered to move their careers in a different path. Wouldn't it be better if we left it to the new House at the beginning of their term, so that those who are new can give their input? You know, sometimes, as I say, new brooms sweep cleaner. And also leave it to the recollective wisdom of those who would have been here and say, oh, the reason why we want to do it this way is because in the last 2 sessions, this is what happened, and we thought this is a learning experience. I say that, Mr. Speaker, especially because of my consideration of how CPIC is run. I strongly feel, and at the beginning of this term, a good number of us tried, and I remember leading that caucus without fail, to have it modeled slightly differently from what we know it. It's good that now it's being made. I haven't even seen the full proposal, Mr. Speaker, but I thought there would be a better proposition and more value to it if it is brought at the beginning of the House. But either way, now that it is here before us, Mr. Speaker, I don't oppose. I support, but defer that perhaps maybe at the right time, at the beginning of the session of the new term of the Senate, many of the things in this report will need to be reviewed.
I can see Senator Kamar. Maybe you can say what you want to say before I say something.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. I just wanted to respond a little bit to what Senator Chariot has raised, which is very, very important. But the provisions say that each parliamentary term has the opportunity to change, to amend the standing orders. If you look at the timing, which he has really raised about when it should be best done, you find that you cannot actually do it at the beginning, because if the House is 50% new, they would not really understand how the House has been and what to amend. So that the amendments are best done by those who have had experience. If you look at the amendments that we are doing right now, these are amendments that would have affected us if we did midway. But remember, I have also stated, Mr. Speaker, that there were about 3 amendments that came midstream. I think what we are doing now is to consolidate and give our amendments as provided for in the standing orders, that once in the 5 years, we actually do the amendment. So the best time to me would be the time when the experienced members can give contributions, because again, this is not a committee that did it. I think we got that information from everybody. We even had a public participation announcement so that we had more participation. So we had all these are contributions that came from members which were collected. So it's about time.
Senator Wako. Okay.
Thank you.
No, we still have some votes to take
very quickly,
and contributions.
Very quickly, although I support the motion, but I think it has not gone far enough, because I had proposed 3 amendments to the studying committee, and the reply I received from you is that it will be considered at the end of the year. So I was expecting that my proposals should have been, some of them should have been reflected here. Okay, one proposal which is indirectly reflected here is the increase in the number of the county public accounts committee from the usual 9 to 11 or 13. But I can see that you have now split the two, so maybe that will serve the purpose. But the other two, three in fact, one is the recognition of seniority. For example, I'm Senator number 1, but there was no recognition of some of the slight privileges I should have here. The reply was that it will be considered at the end of the year, but in the meantime, the speaker should always I should always catch the speaker's eye. And whenever I stand up, he recognizes me, which you have done very well, so I don't complain, but other jurisdictions do recognize the most long-serving Senate members in their standing orders. Vehicle number 1, number 2, and number 3 should be recognized. The other one is we are being left out on the issues of East Africa and regional integration. The reply I received from you, Mr. Speaker, was that it will be considered at the end of the year, because by the time I brought it, there was no budget for that type of thing. And I'm surprised that it is not here. Currently, it's being handled by the National Cohesion Committee, which has enough on its plate when it considers issues of cohesion within the nation. The issues of integration within the region are being left behind. The National Assembly has a committee devoted to that. There are many bills now being passed by the East African Legislative Assembly touching on matters which are devolved matters, and yet those bills never come to us, at least to consider and to approve the same. So I would really strongly appeal to, as we approve this, I would like it to be on record that at the 13th, should consider seriously having an East African and Regional Cooperation Committee to deal specifically with the East African integration issues. And now, you know, the Democratic Republic of Congo has now joined the community. So it's a big thing now. And here we are, we don't have any say whatsoever. Most of our neighboring, of the member states have an upper house like ours, which considers integration issues. I know Rwanda, Burundi, and others have upper houses, which are specifically devoted to looking at issues, regional issues, which, and here we are left out. I considered that, I was told it was a bit too late, there was no budget for it, and of course people had a vested agenda in the commission, National Cohesion Commission and so on, and therefore it was an appropriate time that as we come into 13th Assembly, we should have now a new committee altogether. That was not considered. So those two issues, Mr. Speaker, I feel very strongly. Recognition of seniority, number 1, number 2, number 3. Seniority in terms of the longest serving members of the Senate, but also we must be up to speed with what's going on in the region, particularly with the big expansion of the East African community, the way it is. The other one, and here I speak on behalf of my neighbor here, he tells me that the implementation committee was supposed to be revived. Again, it's not revived. So although it has gone a bit, those 3 issues, 4 issues should have been part of, and I hope that the next parliament will consider those issues very, very seriously. Thank you.
Senator James Orengo.
Mr. Speaker, briefly, I want to say that there are provisions in these amendments that are new. They bring a new insight into the standing orders. And I like the fact that the standing orders are now giving an opportunity and a procedure for having bills which are sponsored by a member of the Senate or members of the Senate in co-sponsorship with members of the National Assembly. I think that procedure has been lacking, I think it can reduce bureaucracy and red tape between the two houses. There have been sibling rivalry when a bill originates from this house. Sometimes you find the same bill being originated in the National Assembly, and I think this is a good. These are good provisions. But the only thing that I wanted to add, Mr. Speaker, is that standing orders emanate from the Constitution. They are as good as law. They carry the same weight as an ordinary statute because they flow from the Constitution. And I agree with Senator Cheriot, Senator for Kericho, that to bring these amendments at this time, and they have been tabled yesterday, and many of us have not actually read this report. I think it's a little bit unfair. I don't think we have been very good to the members of the Senate, because these rules are so critical. Sometimes you can find legislation has been passed, but if there is a violation of any standing order, it can vacate a legislation because certain elements of the standing orders were left out or were not complied with. So when you bring new provisions like the ones I've seen, I think it would have been good to have this report at least a month before Senate, adjourns Senate here. We started this report. I think there was a time I remember when the Senate was first convened. I think some senators, like I think Petronila, I don't know whether she was there, when not only was the committee holding meetings, but eventually there was a plenary, although not in session, of the entire membership of the Senate to scrutinize the standing orders. I know they normally come at the end because the standing orders can only be good for amendment for the purposes of the next Senate, the 13th Parliament. But I think because of the importance and primacy of standing orders, I, for one, feel a little bit aggrieved because I would have had, I've not had an opportunity to really scrutinize the work of the Procedure and Rules Committee. And in fact, Senator Wako, the first thing he did when the Senator for Sengishu was moving, the Deputy Speaker, it was to confront me, you know. Why have you left this out? He forgot that I was a member of the committee. I also think there are things that, although I could have passed my suggestions to the committee, but I think it's unfair for the rules of the House, because they bind all of us, to be brought on the last day. I think this is the way people misgovern. This has been done in Parliament before. It happens in courts that when you want to sneak something in, you bring it at the last minute, and people don't look at it. And then at the end of the day, you find you have made a terrible mistake and error that you cannot correct. In the next session, they'll do the same thing and wait. They live with their mistakes until the end. So I'm just saying this, that we go on record in case somebody would think that a lawyer of Senator Mtula's stature agreed with this without an element of scrutiny. Otherwise, I have no alternative but to support. I have belief in the Deputy Speaker and the Speaker who are members of this committee, but belief alone sometimes is not good enough. Even the Pope is believed, but his work sometimes attracts scrutiny if he's in the orders of managing humanity, particularly managing members of the House. Otherwise, I support, and I've seen there are some very good provisions here.
What's your point of order, Senator?
My point of order is this: is the leader of minority in order, having made a very compelling case, very, very compelling, beyond reasonable doubt, as to why we should not really approve this thing now, is in order to say he has no alternative but to support. You have an alternative to say no and lead the minority in opposing this thing.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, I'm saying so. When you have a child, it's your child. When a child is born without a leg or an eye, you don't throw it out. You try and find out to live with it. And this is a product of a committee of the House. I'm prepared to live with it.
Senator Bogisho.
Mr. Speaker, I just want to add my voice to that of the various members who have spoken. Speaker, I want to say that I do support these changes and support because, Mr. Speaker, one of the traditions, our tradition, as has been said, Mr. Speaker, is we prepare these standing orders for the convenience of the House. We amend them for the convenience of the House, but we also make sure that they are in practice in the next House. And so for that reason alone, we support so that those in the next House can scrutinize what has been done, and they can have the pleasure of going back to scrutinize it. So, Mr. Speaker, the other thing is that because we trust you and your committee, because the committee is made up of yourself and the members of the panel, we hope that there are not too many problems with eyes and legs and arms, like my colleagues might fear with a child. I hope the child is fine. Speaker, I do also want to conclude saying that this is it. This is probably your last duty as a Speaker of this House. We know you're going into another office, so this is probably a place where you can speak equivocally that you have done a good job and that it's a good document. Thank you very much, and I hope that we can all support it. Thank you.
Finally, Senator Sakaja.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I earlier pressed for a point of order, but I think I can just persecute, or rather prosecute, not persecute. I'm the one who's being persecuted. I can prosecute my point as I make my submissions. Mr. Speaker, yes, it has been the tradition of the House to bring standing orders towards the tail end for the next House. I believe that's what happened last time, and that's also what happened in the National Assembly, where I served, Mr. Speaker, in the last term. I have just one concern, which I think when the mover replies will guide how I vote. Mr. Speaker, every day since the 31st of August 2017, when we were sworn in as senators, every week or 2 weeks, when members have stood up to contribute, we have always asked why we don't have an implementation committee. We're leaving the Senate today with a lot of unfinished business that we've passed in our relevant in our respective committees. I have a lot that we did in the Labor Committee, in the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, and the committees we've sat at, that members have expressed continuously that if there had been an implementation committee to make sure the resolutions of this House are followed up consistently, then it would make the Senate more effective. Mr. Speaker, it would be good to get an explanation from the mover why that has not been considered. Because if indeed the purpose of amending standing orders is to ensure a more efficient running of the House, and for the next House, I think that would have been the first and maybe even only amendment. It's the most necessary amendment, Mr. Speaker. We've passed honorarium for former councillors. They've not gotten a shilling. We passed a report on Solai. We saw what happened. Mr. Speaker, we've passed serious reports on Saudi Arabia, on our girls who are going there and are being butchered and sent back in body bags. There's no implementation committee in this house. So I'd like to understand, because maybe what you need to add is the process of amending standing orders. Because it is opaque, it is done behind closed doors, and then the report is rushed on the last day. I don't know how many members here, including the leadership. Senator Orengo has confessed that he's just seen the report yesterday. He's a leader of minority. He's seen it today. I know he doesn't have much interest in how the Senate operates moving forward. In fact, actually himself and Senator Makueni and myself, who intend to be in the executive as governors, have interest in how you operate for those coming back. But we cannot be passing such important rules in such an opaque manner. So, Mr. Speaker, let us understand what was the reasoning, because I'm sure that is something that was canvassed in that committee, I would assume. Why don't we have an implementation committee? The effectiveness of the Senate going forward is not on the high-sounding declarations made on this dispatch box and in every member's seat. It is on what we actually are able to do and to implement, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, beyond that, I think it was very good that we were able to get Swahili version of our standing orders. I believe that was passed. Mr. Speaker, that is a very noble thing. I think we also need to understand how better to communicate to people, and maybe even would have included a Swahili day, that on Thursday afternoons, debate can be done in Swahili. And I'm sure Senator of Mombasa would support that, and Senator of Kilifi, and those of us who support the growth of Kiswahili language. But I think a good explanation as to why that has not been considered would be important, Mr. Speaker, before we vote. And possibly in the next House, for those who are coming back, like Senator Faki and Senator Kilifi, I think you might need to actually do another review at the beginning. For those of you who have the wealth or experience, the institutional memory from this House, that you can guide your colleagues who join you when you come back on what you need to, adjust when the term begins. But beyond that, Mr. Speaker, I think it's really grammatical errors, and it's not the kind of report we expected, given our weekly, I don't want to say lamentations, but weekly misgivings and issues raised by members every time we have an issue in this House. That should have been taken into consideration. Finally, Mr. Speaker, the next time this is done, all senators should be alerted that there's a process of amendment of standing orders. We should be, and if that happened, I was not aware, but members should be asked if they have recommendations on what needs to be amended to give them in. And then we probably have a Kamkunji where we discuss what has worked, what has not worked, and what we should improve. Mr. Speaker, that would lead to a more effective Senate moving forward. Thank you.
I'd say it finally, but I can see Mutula Kilonzo Jr. Yeah. You have not pressed, okay?
I've pressed.
Yes, Mutula Jr., okay.
Yes,
okay.
Speaker, only to echo my sentiments of my colleagues, that portion where the committee should have conducted public participation of these senators was not done. The areas mentioned by Senator Sakaja are important. I would have loved, Mr. Speaker, to, and Senator Sakaja has mentioned, Solidum and others, I would have loved to see an amendment to the procedure of impeachment of governors during plenary. There's a camera session that doesn't make sense. That should have either been amended or removed. But the implementation committee was important because for the effectiveness of this House, Mr. Speaker, we've had problems. I would have loved to see a better way of working with the Parliamentary Budget Office in this one. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, those being the concerns, we support, but hope that next time, Mr. Speaker, and I don't know when that will be, because we will not be here, but there should have been an element of consultation amongst ourselves with the relative experience of being here for 10 years with Senator Orengo and others. One or two comments would have been useful. The Committee of Finance, just to explain this point, has prepared a report, an exit report of the committee on the challenges we have had as a finance committee, so that it can inform the next Senate. Therefore, the amendment of the standing orders should also inform the Senate of the challenges as first and second Senate have had, so that the next senators, who are not going to be Orengo, Sakaja, myself, and others, are going to face, and Wako, and many others, are going to face. And the third Senate is going to face many, many challenges. If you recall the statute miscellaneous amendment, that was passed to remove the mandate of the Senate in interrogating commissions under Article 153, there is a push by people who don't like devolution to make sure that the Senate becomes weaker and weaker. We must claim jurisdiction. Look for it, even if it's not there, and put it there so that the law can consequently be amended so that the senators can be effective, Mr. Speaker, on audit on other matters, which, Mr. Speaker, have gone unhandled. The Senate governor of Machakos has the most arrest warrants since the invention of arrest warrants, and nothing has happened, Mr. Speaker, and therefore, Mr. Speaker, it is those weaknesses that should have been addressed in these standing orders, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Finally, Senator Masija.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to support and commend that implementation committee was much more important in the beginning of this Senate, but because of the standing orders that are going to be reviewed, I pray that the Senate that will be here, because me, I'm vying to go to the other house, but where we have an implementation committee, you rest assured that all the queries and all the answers will be replied, or the response will come from the implementation committee. They do the follow-up and make sure that any recommendation and observation that have been observed through the committee proceedings or the House proceedings, then they are followed. But without implementation committee, I think we have really missed a lot, and we really do not know where some of the bills, some of the recommendation and observations that were recommended in this on the floor of this House ended up to. So I just want to say that standing committees needs to have the implementation committee, but again, even the membership itself needs to be reviewed, or need to be it needs to be like a seasonal or a sessional committee, whereby they need to perform to the best of their ability, because most of the response or most of the achievements of these committees, then implementation committee will be able to answer most of its recommendation. I support and I say that let the next Senate have the implementation committee that is sessional and can help the House achieve its objectives. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
I now call upon the mover to reply.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. First, I want to agree with the members that the procedure of amending the standing orders need to be established. And I would like to agree that maybe it's good to actually go the process of having a Kamugunji so that everybody is aware and everybody can participate. But that is notwithstanding the fact that, Mr. Speaker, sometimes in the year 2021, around middle of the year, you made a communication from the chair and you actually communicated to the House that the process of amending the standing orders was starting. So actually that was announced in this House, and everybody was invited to give submissions. And it is true that some members actually gave submissions. So what was being discussed here, what was being collated, what was being discussed by this committee was part of what arose from that communication from the chair. So there was communication that took place. Again, I think I had mentioned something about the contribution from Senator Jeriot, but the issue of timing remains an issue that either do you want to do it before you know the House very well, or maybe midstream would be better. But again, we leave it to the members who are going to be back here in the 13th Parliament to choose the most appropriate time to do it. But that did not stop us. I think I mentioned about 4 amendments that took place. An amendment that took place in 2018, another one that took place in 2019, and another one, the last one that took place in 2020. So it did not stop us from introducing small piece amendments to enable us proceed. So that, I leave it at that, and I think, yes, let's look at the timing, but Mr. Speaker, you actually made an announcement in time, and maybe some members did not get to know that. Two issues that have been raised here. The issue of the East African community, as raised by Senator Wako. Yes, it came to the House, it came to the committee, we discussed it, and we actually left it to the next group because it was, I think that was a one contribution, one suggestion that came in. We looked at the pros and cons, the financing of the various committees, and it looked like it was
Senator
a little bit
Kiloso
tricky.
Jr., what is your intervention?
Mr. Speaker, it's now 5:55. It appears we have still some time to go before we conclude the business of the Senate. I rise on a point of order to move pursuant to Standing Order number 31-4 that the sitting of the Senate be extended until conclusion of the business appearing on the order paper, and request Senator Orengo to second.
Mr. Speaker, I second.
Okay, honorable senators, I now want to propose the question that pursuant to Standing Order number 313A, the Senate resolves to extend its sitting today, Thursday, 16th June 2022, until conclusion of business appearing in the order paper. I put the question, which is that pursuant to Standing Order number 313A, the Senate resolves to extend its sittings today, Thursday, 16th June 2022, until conclusion of business appearing in the order papers. Manner of that opinion say aye. Aye. As manner of a contrary view say nay. The ayes have it. Senator, Professor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me just point out two areas which have been mentioned. That is the area of the East African Community and Regional Integration Committee. Actually, that was brought forward to the committee. We looked at the pros and the cons and the finances that we have and how we have managed to facilitate, because that is a committee that should actually be facilitated very well. But so that was left because, yes, it was proposed, it was looked at the expense point. At that I really agree. So the information we gave the senator is true, that we are looking at how we can manage more committees. In fact, when it came to the other committee which has been mentioned here, the implementation committee, we again looked at it in terms of the practicability of having more committees, but more, the reason why implementation committee did not pass is the fact that there were different views. And one of the views, when we received different correspondence from different members, was that the same was actually canvassed in the liaison committee. And in the liaison committee, most of the chairs, and you know liaison committee is a committee of our chairs, most of the chairs seem to have been of the opinion that each committee should follow up their own mandate instead of having an issue. And I think in one of the Kamukunjis, actually, this was raised. So again, I want to recommend to the members that will come back in the next, in the 13th Parliament, to actually relook at it again and discuss openly. But I would like to agree, Mr. Speaker, that we need to have a proper process of how to amend so that all our views are brought together. Beyond just a communication from the chair, we can actually discuss it. Let's have a Kamukunji, let's look at it so that it's good for everybody. With those remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to move. I beg to reply.
Okay, before I put the question, I know I chair that committee, and like my able deputy has said, I did make a communication here. I know we have been busy with distractions. It may have escaped our attention to give our views but all the same, we're happy that we came up with what we have done, and those who will come in the next parliament will be able to fill in the gaps which have been pointed out. So I now put the question, which is that pursuant to Standing Orders number 254 and 255, the Senate approves the fourth report of the Procedure and Rules Committee on periodic amendments to the Standing Orders of the Senate laid on the table of the Senate on Wednesday, 15th June 2022, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 124(1) of the Constitution and Standing Orders 255 and 257, resolves to amend its standing orders as contained in Appendix 1 to the report, and 2, orders that the amendments to the standing orders as contained in Appendix 1 to the report come into effect at the commencement of the 13th Parliament. Okay, as men are of that opinion, say aye. Aye. As men are of a contrary view, say nay. The ayes have it. Thank you. Okay. Next order. Okay, for the convenience of the House, so the orders to be read will be order number 22 all the way to 30. Clerk.
Order number 22, Committee of the Whole, the Irrigation Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 12 of 2021, Division. Order number 23, Committee of the Whole, the Community Groups Registration Bill, National Assembly Bills number 20 of 2021, Division. Order number 24, Committee of the Whole, the Landlord and Tenant Bill, National Assembly Bills number 3 of 2021, Division. Order number 25, Committee of the Whole, the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 32 of 2021, Division. Order number 26, Committee of the Whole, the Circle Societies Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 55 of 2021, Division. Order number 27, Committee of the Whole, the Sustainable Waste Management Bill, National Assembly Bills number 22 of 2021, Division. Order number 28, Committee of the Whole, the County Government's Additional Allocation Bill, Senate Bills number 2 of 2022. Order number 29, Committee of the Whole, the Sugar Bill, National Assembly Bills number 68 of 2019. And order number 30, Committee of the Whole, the Children Bill, National Assembly Bills number 38 of 2021. Committee. Committee.
Order, members, I don't want to come between you and your wonderful dinner, so I'm going to take you very fast.
Don't leave.
And both honorable members in the House and those who are online, please be ready to vote.
One vote.
We are going to vote very fast.
Madam Speaker. Was it okay?
Honorable members, we will now ring the bell for 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Madam Chair, I move that clause 6 be amended as per the order paper.
Thank you, Senator. Honorable Senators, I propose the question that clause 6 be amended as proposed. Honorable Senators, I put the question that clause 6 be amended as proposed. Division at the end. Clause
7.
I propose the question that clause 7 be part of the bill. I put the question that clause 7 be part of the bill, division at the end.
Clause 8.
Clause 8, I propose the question that clause 8 be part of the bill. Senator Wambua to move an amendment.
Madam Chair, I propose that clause 8 be amended as in the order paper.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that clause 8 be amended as proposed. Honorable Senators, I now put the question that clause 8 be amended as proposed, division at the end.
Clause 9.
I propose the question that clause 9 be part of the bill. Senator Wambua to move an amendment.
Madam Chair, I propose that clause 9 be amended as in the order paper.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that clause 9 be amended as proposed. Honorable Senators, I now put the question that clause 9 be amended as proposed. Division at the end.
Clauses 10 to 20.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that clauses 10 to 20 be part of the bill. Honorable Senators, I now put the question that clauses 10 to 20 be part of the bill. Division at the end.
Clauses 21 to 24.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that clauses 21 to 24 be part of the bill. Honorable Senators, I put the question that clauses 21 to 24 be part of the bill. Division at the end.
Clause 25.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that clause 25 be part of the bill. Vice Chair Senator Wambua to move an amendment.
Madam Chair, I propose that clause 25 be amended as in the order paper.
As Chair of Agriculture, please come and clarify.
If you do amendment, you're stuck. Yeah, I know, but it will be more nonsense. Then nothing happens. This one will not consider. It will say, because you can't do mediation. That's why I was telling you. But you know, that's whether it's a
Mover, you are on a point of order.
Yes, Madam Chairperson, on a point of order, pursuant to Standing Order 148, I beg to move
On its consideration of the Sugar Bill, National Assembly Bill number 68 of 2019, and seek leave to sit again tomorrow. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary say nay? The ayes have it. Now we are moving to order number 30, the Committee of the Whole on the Children's Bill. Leader of Majority.
This one has no amendment.
Honorable Senators, yeah.
Clauses 3 to 50.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that clause 3 to 50 be part of the bill. Honorable Senators, I now put the question that clauses 3 to 50 be part of the bill, division at the end.
Clauses 51 to 100.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that clauses 51 to 100 be part of the bill. Honorable Senators, I put the question that clauses 51 to 100 be part of the bill, division at the end.
Clauses 101 to 150.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that clauses 101 to 150 be part of the bill. Honorable Senators, I now put the question that clauses 101 to 150 be part of the bill, division at the end.
Clauses 151 to 200.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that clauses 151 to 200 be part of the bill. Honorable Senators, I now put the question that clauses 151 to 200 be part of the bill, division at the end.
Clauses 201 to 250.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that clauses 201 to 250 be part of the bill. Honorable Senators, I now put the question that clauses 201 to 250 be part of the bill, division at the end.
The first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth schedules.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth be part of the bill. Honorable Senators, I now put the question that the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth be part of the bill, division at the end.
Clauses 2, the title, and clause 1.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that clauses 2 and the title and clause 1 be part of the bill. Honorable Senators, I now put the question that clause 2, the title, and clause 1 be part of the bill, division at the end. The next one, Honorable Senators, is the County Government's Additional Allocation Bill, Senate Bill number 2 of 2022. Okay. Okay, Senators, we are on the County Government's Additional Allocation Bill, Senate Bills number 2 of 2022.
Clause 3.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that Clause 3 be part of the bill. Honorable Senators, I now put the question that Clause 3 be part of the bill. Division at the end.
Clause 4.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that Clause 4 be part of the bill. Mover to move amendments, Chairperson, Committee on Finance and Budget.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that Clause 4 be amended as per the order paper.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that Clause 4 be amended as proposed. Honorable Senators, I now put the question that Clause 4 be amended as proposed. Division at the end.
Clause 5.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that Clause 5 be part of the bill. Senator Faria, for Chairperson, Committee on Finance and Budget.
I beg to move that Clause 5 be amended as per the order paper.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that Clause 5 be amended as proposed. Honorable Senators, I put the question that Clause 5 be amended as proposed. Division at the end.
Clause 6.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that Clause 6 be part of the bill. Mover.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that Clause 6 be amended as per the order paper.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that Clause 6 be amended as proposed. I put the question that Clause 6 be amended as proposed. Division at the end.
New Clause 5A.
Honorable Senators, I propose the amendment to be moved. No. That is, there is a new clause 5A. The mover.
I beg to move that the new Clause 5A now be read a second time.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that new Clause 5A be read at a second time. Honorable Senators, I put the question that new Clause 5A be read a second time.
Division at the end. First schedule.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that first schedule be part of the bill. Mover.
I beg to move that the first schedule be amended as per the order paper.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that the first schedule be amended as proposed. Honorable Senators, I put the question that the first schedule be amended as proposed. Division at the end.
The second schedule.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that the second schedule be part of the bill. Mover.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that the second schedule be amended as per the order paper.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that the second schedule be amended as proposed. Honorable Senators, I put the question that the second schedule be amended as proposed. Division at the end.
Clause 2, the title, and Clause 1.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that Clause 2, the title, and Clause 1 be part of the bill. Honorable Senators, I put the question that Clause 2, the title, and Clause 1 be part of the bill, division at the end.
Madam Speaker, we have finished this. We will come back to it for the divisions.
So we have finished all three.
Yes. So the next bill is the
Faria?
Farhia.
Faria, can you come forward, please? Yes, we are back to irrigation. We are starting with the irrigation amendment.
No.
Honorable Senators, we are already in a committee stage. Can we proceed and finish? We are dealing with the irrigation bill and we are finishing it in 5 minutes because there are no amendments. All the amendments the chair has withdrawn. So let's proceed, please.
clauses 3 to 10.
I propose the question that clauses 3 to 10 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clauses 3 to 10 be part of the bill, division at the end. Next.
Clauses 11 to 16.
I propose the question that clauses 11 to 16 be part of the bill. I put the question that clauses 11 to 16 be part of the bill, division at the end.
New clause 8A.
New clause 8A, Chair of the committee.
Madam Chairperson, I propose that the amendments be withdrawn.
Thank you, Senator. Next.
Clause 2.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that clause 2 be part of the bill. Mover.
Madam Chairperson, I propose that the amendment be dropped.
Thank you. Next.
The title and clause 1.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that the title and clause 1 be part of the bill. I put the question that that the title and clause 1 be part of the bill. Division at the end.
So, Madam Speaker.
The next bill is the community groups.
The landlord, so that we report progress, so that we don't vote. You remember, the House doesn't.
The next one is the community groups registration bill, National Assembly Bills number 20 of 2021. Okay, honorable members, we are now ready for divisions. Can whips continue to whip members? But there is a bill. There is a bill, order number 24. Leader of majority. Leader, please approach the desk.
Chairperson, Honorable Chairperson, pursuant to Standing Order 148.1, I beg to move that the Committee of the Whole do report progress on its consideration of the Landlord and Tenant Bill, National Assembly Bills number 3 of 2021, and seek leave to sit again tomorrow.
Honorable Senators, I now put the question that the Committee of the Whole do report progress on its consideration of the Landlord and Tenant Bill, National Assembly Bills number 3 of 2021, and seek leave to sit again tomorrow. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable Senators and Honorable Whips, I hope you are ready. We are going to ring the bell for 5 minutes. Then we are going to go for division for the following. We are going, if you look at your order paper, you will understand where we are. We are going to go for division for order number 22, order number 23, order number 25, order number 26, order number 27, order number 28, and order number 30.
Senator Hargura Godana, Marsabit County.
Madam Chair, I vote yes for all three.
Senator Imana Malakai Charles Ekal, Turkana County. Senator Kajwang Moses Otieno, Homa Bay County.
Madam Chair, I vote yes for the three.
Senator Kamar Margaret Jepkoech, Uasin Gishu County.
I vote yes on behalf of Uasin Gishu County.
Senator Kangata Irungu, Murang'a County. Senator Haniri George, Vihiga County. Senator Kibiru Charles Rubenson, Kirinyaga County.
I vote yes. I vote yes.
Thank you, Senator. We have heard you.
Senator
So you are in
Kihika
adjustment.
Susan Wakarura, Nakuru County. Senator Kimani Wamatangi Paul, Kiambu County. Senator Kindiki Kithure, Tharaka Nithi County. Senator Kirinyaga Ephraim Maina, Nyeri County.
Ebrahim Maina, please vote. Senator Maina, please vote. We can see you, but Senator Nyeri. Okay, we'll come back.
Senator Langat Christopher Andrew, Bomet County. Senator Lelegwe Tumbesi, Samburu County. Senator Linturi Franklin Midhika, Meru County.
I vote yes for the 3.
Senator Loitip Anwar, Lamu County. Senator Madzayo Stewart Mochiru, Kilifi County. Senator Mahamud Mohamed Maalim, Mandera County.
Senator Mohamud. Senator Mohamud, vote.
Okay. Senator Malala Cleophas Wakungu, Kakamega County.
Senator Malala, please vote.
Senator Mbito Michael Malinga, Trans Nzoia County.
Madam Chair, I vote yes for all the 3.
Senator Mogeni Eric Okongo, Nyamira County.
Yes, Madam Speaker, I vote yes for all the 3 bills.
Senator Mbogo George Ochilo Ayako, Migori County. Senator Malala Cleophas Wakungu, Kakamega County.
I vote yes.
Thank you.
Senator Mbogo George Ochilo Ayako, Migori County. Senator Moi Gideon Kipselei Towet, Baringo County. Senator Mpai Philip Salau, Kajiado County.
I vote yes for the 3.
Senator Murkomen Onesmus Kipchumba, Elgeyo Marakwet County.
Yeah. Hello?
Senator Murkomen, yes, vote please.
Madam Speaker, I vote yes for all the 3.
Thank you.
Senator Mudama Agnes Kavindu, Machakos County.
I vote yes for all the 3.
I did not hear my name.
Thank you.
Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr., Makueni County.
You know, they are so.
I vote yes for all the 3.
Senator Mwangi Paul Githiomi, Nyandarua County. Senator Maruma Jones Mwashushe, Taita Taveta County. Senator Munyihaji Mohamed Faki, Mombasa County.
I vote yes.
Thank you, Senator.
Senator Nderito John Kinyua, Laikipia County.
Senator Kinyua, we saw you online a few minutes ago.
Senator Ndwiga Peter Njeru, Embu County.
Madam Chair, I vote yes for all three.
Senator Olekina Ledama, Narok County. Senator Ongeri Samson Kegengo, Kisii County.
Madam Chair, I vote yes for all the bills.
Senator Orengo James, Siaya County. Senator Outa Frederick Otieno, Kisumu County.
Senator Nyamunga, please vote. Senator Nyamunga, we are waiting for you to vote.
Senator Pogiso Samuel Losuron, West Pokot County.
I vote yes.
Yeah, Senator Nyamunga?
She has voted.
Yes, she has voted, okay.
Senator Sakaja Johnson Arthur, Nairobi County.
I vote yes.
Senator Wako Sitwila Amos, Busia County.
I vote yes on
Sen-
all. How many? 12.
Senator Wambua Enokio, Kitui County. Senator Wario Golich Juma, Tana River County. Senator Wetangula Moses Masika, Bungoma County.
Okay, we shall repeat for members who have not been online. And for clarification sake, the first two questions were actually withdrawn when the amendments were withdrawn. So the question was for all the clauses. Yeah, as read out. Thank you.
Senator Ali Abdullahi Ibrahim, Wajir County.
She didn't.
Senator Adan Fatuma Dulo, Isiolo County.
It was done by Abishiro.
It froze.
She said I vote and then it froze. Yes, Abishiro, can we hear you loud and clear now? I think the problem
I
is...
vote yes for all three on behalf of official delegation.
Thank you. And please, if you're online, stay online. We are just going to, we still have a number.
Senator Haji Abdul Mohamed, Garissa County. Senator Imana Malakai Charles Ekal, Turkana County. Senator Kangata Irungu, Muranga County. Senator Haniri George, Vihiga County. Senator Kihika Susan Wakarura, Nakuru County. Senator Kimani Wamatangi Paul, Kiambu County. Senator Kindiki Kidhure, Tharaka Nithi County. Senator Kirinyaga Ephraim Maina, Mwangi Maina, Nyeri County.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.